Imagine this. What if I told you that the biggest barrier between the Toronto Maple Leafs and that big name everyone dreams about isn't money, isn't a lack of courage, and isn't even a rival try and interfere? It's a simple contract clause. A single signature made years ago that today could completely change the team's destiny. Sounds exaggerated? It's not, because that's exactly what's happening right now with Mika Zibanejad, one of the most talked about names this offseason, who almost became Toronto's greatest obsession. The NHL offseason, as you know, is anything but normal this year. Entire teams being dismantled, stars changing uniforms like a chess game. And in the middle of this board, the Rangers made a bold move, almost unthinkable for many. They threw out the stability manual and decided to start from scratch. Chris Kreider? Gone. Jacob Trouba? Gone too. And along with them, names that were part of the backbone of this roster. Ryan Lindgren, Kendra Miller, Philip Chittle. All sent away in a move that made it clear New York is not looking at the present. They are betting everything on the future. Now, for those of us on this side, cheering for the Leafs, the scenario sparked a light of hope. Because, let's face it, when a giant decides to tear down a house, doors open for opportunity. And in the middle of this storm, one rare jewel remained, Mika Zibanejad. At 32 years old, with 740 points in 930 games, despite still playing at a high level, 62 of them just last represents a short-term. Mika is the kind of player that changes a franchise's history. He would be, without exaggeration, the missing piece to turn a good team into a championship team. A leader, an experienced center, a man who knows how to decide big games. For Toronto, it seemed perfect, but then came the shock. A shock that says a lot about how the NHL works today. Before I tell you that detail, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Because if you're a Leafs fan, if you live for every rumor, every behind-the-scenes update, every piece of news that can change the season, this is your place. And I'll warn you, today's story is going to test your patience because it shows how sometimes not everything depends on the front office's effort. Now, let's get to what really matters. Since the last trade deadline, Zibanejad's name has been in the background. It was inevitable. When you have a player of this caliber on a team that's blowing up its roster, rumors come like winter rain. And Toronto was right in the middle of those conversations. Sources hinted at it. Insiders commented. Fans were already starting to dream. But then came the bomb. According to David Pagnotta, one of the most reliable insiders in the game, no matter what the Rangers do, no matter how much they consider trading him, Mika isn't leaving. He has no intention of leaving New York. Why? Because he can. Because in his contract, there is a no movement clause. And that clause is like a lock with a single key. Only the player can open it. And Mika doesn't want to. And do you know what that means? That every plan involving his name just blew up. That any hope of seeing him wearing blue and white, pulling on the heavy Leafs jersey, ended before it even started. Because Zibanejad was crystal clear. He will not waive the clause. He does not want to leave. And if he doesn't want to, there is no offer, no promise, no package of picks that can change that. And here, Leafs fans, is where the conversation gets even more tense. Because Mika is not an isolated case. He's not the only one saying no. Rasmus Ristolainen, another target that could have been interesting, went the same route. That creates a much bigger problem for Brad Treliving, our GM. Because every star that closes the door makes options scarcer and the pressure grows. And it's not just about premium assets, salary cap, or cap space. It's a matter of willingness. Who actually wants to come to Toronto? That's the question keeping a lot of people up at night. Because let's be honest, the pressure here is surreal. Every game, every shift, every mistake is analyzed like it's the World Cup final. The media doesn't let up. The fans demand, and they demand a lot. Add to that Canada's higher taxes, which reduce net salaries, and you have a scenario where many players would rather stay exactly where they are. And you know what's crueler? Every refusal becomes fuel for unfair narratives. Oh, Trail Living couldn't close any deals. But was there even a deal to close? Could anyone have? Or are we facing a much bigger structural problem? Now let's imagine the scenarios that won't happen. Zibanejad in Toronto would be a dream. A power play with Matthews, Nylander, and Mika would be almost impossible to stop. He would bring depth, experience, leadership. But that's not going to happen. So what's plan B? Do we keep aiming at big stars, even knowing the chance of hearing a no is huge? Or do we completely change the strategy and look for names that may not have the same shine, but have the courage to wear this jersey and face the pressure that comes with it? And here's where things get even darker. Because if Mika is just the first of many to say no, how will that affect roster building from now on? 2026 sounds far away, but for those who want to win now, for those who want to break this damn championship drought, the clock is ticking fast. And I'll be honest, if Brad Trail Living doesn't find a creative solution, we're going to see a summer full of frustrations, and that could cost a lot. Now I want to hear from you, Leafs Nation. If you were in the GM's shoes, what would you do? Keep insisting on big names, even knowing the chance of hearing no is enormous? Or completely change the approach and look for players who may not shine as bright, but have the courage to play here? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I want to see how Leafs fans see this dilemma. And hold on, because in the next video, we're going to talk about another name that might actually be willing to give it all up to switch teams. A player who could bring exactly what Toronto needs to this roster. So hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stick around. Because this saga, my friend, is just beginning.